So I want to say a little bit about letter tools, which are single action tools, and then we'll move on to the double action tools. A lot of people like to put names on their leather projects, or maybe even write like a little slogan on there. I don't know. There's different kinds of letter tools you can use. Just a couple things to keep in mind. First of all, you really want to make sure, especially with letters, that you hold the tool kind of in one place and really don't let it drift. It's really good, especially for letter tools, if you can get it in one strike. And that'll be easier with smaller letters. Here's a set of kind of small, they look about a little bit larger than 1/4 inch. And so these, if the leather is well cased, you can kind of give it a good whack and in most cases get a pretty good impression. That's the letter N, as you can see. You know, the same is true. These are some actually really small letter stamps that I got from a hardware store that were mainly used for I think doing impressions onto steel tools, but they actually work with leatherworking really well. I mean, this is a little W here, and things like this are really easy. You just kind of give it, you don't need to give it much of a tap at all, and there's your letter. Some of these larger letter stamps like this that are used for like big belts, Western style belts, again, you know, it can be a little bit more challenging to get a full-on impression of that letter. So sometimes what you have to do is kind of give it a nice little whack first of all, maybe 2, and then check it. And if your impression is good, see in this case that impression is a little bit light. What you can do then is case it again with some more water. And then if you put that stamp back on it, you can sort of feel kind of where that impression was. You have to kind of move it around, but then eventually the raised areas of the stamp will kind of fall back kind of into those grooves. And then when you feel like you have it in place, as long as it's in place again, you can give it a few more whacks. And aha, see now here you can see it moved. And so I kind of messed up there because my tool moved. And so you see I kind of have multiple impressions here. So this is a good example of why it's important with single action tools to try and get it in as few strokes as you can. And if you have to give it multiple whacks, to make sure it doesn't move in between.